My class are a group of highly individualised learners with complex communication needs as well as having complex bodies. So moving for some of my students is actually quite difficult. Most of them access a wheelchair either full-time or for part of their day. I was a little bit shocked by the actual marking guide at first. It's a different kind of marking guide to how I've been used to assessing my students, and there was a few times where I actually needed to put the marking guide away and just focus on what is it that I need to teach them to be able to participate in the movement activity so that they can then design their ball game and work with a peer to create the game and implement the game with a group of others. As we went along in teaching the unit and in collaboration with my own peers and the advisory visiting teacher for physical impairment, I guess my own mindset started to change about the terminology of the marking guide and what some of that terminology actually meant for my learners. Perhaps I started with a very narrow focus of what I thought perhaps some of the definitions were, and over the course of the unit was actually able to expand the breadth of the definitions of some of those very important terms in the marking guide. And by the end of it could see that yes, my students did fit within the marking guide and that they could actually achieve within the marking guide and achieve well. We worked with our friends in the class next door who are almost the exact opposite in appearance to us. They're very physically able and capable and mostly verbal students. And the cooperation between the two sets of students was fantastic. I think my students learned to appreciate our friends next door. The students next door learned to appreciate us as thinkers and movers and doers. I guess maybe too the biggest aha moment was that there was a place in the unit of work for everybody, that each individual had their own ideas and certainly could contribute ideas, make modifications, and everybody came up with a game that we could play as a group. I've continued an ongoing conversation about the unit and where we were at and what was happening really helped me. Your belief that these learners would absolutely be able to do it, and you believed that right from the beginning, and it wasn't that I didn't. This has just been my first go around with Universal Design for Learning, and so I just needed you to keep telling me yes, it's okay, you're on the right track, we're doing it. Certainly the support of my peer teacher in the class next door and her thinking about both sets of students and the collaboration between them, even her thoughts on the different ways we could approach things for vision impairment or hearing loss were a great support, and having just some ongoing conversation too with the AVT for PI and the way that she looks at access and different things was a huge help to me.